Hello guys, it's Jack from Peach Guitars here at NAMM 2020. We're at PRS Guitars to see some of our friends, and what better friend could we possibly have stumbled upon but Mr. Paul Reed Smith, which is this chap here, by the way.
That's nice.
How was that for a pass?
It was good. It was a little fresh, but it was good.
All right. Okay, so it's the end of NAMM
What
Thursday.
does that mean in your world? A little
What, fresh?
Yeah.
I was just checking if we were ready to go, and that was just a throwaway
But
term.
I just used it as another throwaway.
Well, should we set some guidelines here?
No.
No? Okay.
That takes all the fun out of your viewers.
Fast and loose then.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
now
I can do that.
Fast and loose.
I can do that.
That an American understands.
Yeah,
okay,
good.
Now we're on the same page.
It's getting to the end of the day, but we can run fast and loose.
Yeah.
So, let's talk a bit of shop, first of all, because we're here, it's 2020, this is a big year for Paul Reed Smith Guitars, so a lot of people out there will already have been following this very closely. You've had some big launches so far, so let's talk about Silver Sky in a little bit, but what you're holding is quite interesting, the revisions that you've made to the McCarty stuff.
Yep.
So
thank you for noticing.
It's very hard not to.
What happens when we released the S2 594, everybody forgot about all the changes we did to the McCarty, and I appreciate it.
Well, we were very lucky. We got our hands on the guitars a little while ago now, and I got to play through them, and Jez, our rep in the UK, very coherently talked us through some of these really big changes, and so we wanted to kind of hear from you what your thoughts were, because it was very clear that this was a from-the-top kind of decision in some of the approaches you've changed now in terms of the pickup design,
right, so
and the finishes.
We changed the pile of things.
Yeah.
We changed the weight of the tuning pegs and the way the tuning pegs are made. We changed the nut material. We changed the finish to nitro. We changed the pickups to the new TCI ones. We changed the bridge to the private stock one. There were a lot of things that we changed, and in my experience, it just kind of turns into music. Let me set this mic down,
sure.
and I'll show you what I'm talking about. That thing's ringing forever.
Yeah.
Electric guitar's not supposed to last that long.
So, I mean...
That sounds really bad, right?
Well, your McCarty guitars always did that anyway.
No, they didn't.
They did. So what steps have you
did a version of that,
Yeah.
but this is a ringy in a slightly new way. I mean, I love McCarty guitars. McCarty guitars helped in America start the internet sales. McCarty guitars got our artists happy. McCarty guitars did all kinds of beautiful things for us, but I think this is really good sounding.
Yeah.
I like the sound of this guitar. The bass pickup. Reverb down a little bit. Somebody messed with my knob positions.
Wasn't me.
It sounds beautiful. It's got bass, it's got mid-range, it's got treble, it's got all the stuff, right? So for me, that sounds a little different than the original McCarty's. The original McCarty's big, thick, powerful sounding guitars. This has a more sustain and a little more clarity. The middle position. I like the way it sounds.
I think they sound great. I mean, that was your mission, I think, when you came out with the 594, right, a few years ago, was to recreate that kind of vintage sensibility, which, quote unquote, meant clarity and sustain for days.
For 594, that was borrowing from the past and trying to go into the future. For these guitars, these modified ones, it's more of a culmination of everything we learned to make it acoustically and electrically better.
Sure. Okay, so how would you say you can quantify those changes that you've made? Because, I mean, I know the reason I'm asking this...
So go listen to 20 videos of McCarty's on YouTube and then listen to this video and listen to the difference. You can hear it. I mean, it's just obvious. We can talk about it for years, but until you play it or you listen to it, it's not going to make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Look, we could have a discussion of what it's like to drink 2 pints of beer for 4 years. You have no idea till you drink 2 pints of beer.
You've got to drink something while you're talking, right?
Well, my point is to get your hands on one of these and make a decision for yourself.
Case in point, guys. So get to Peach Guitars as quickly as you can once you've seen this video and try these out.
There were a couple that got accidentally released to dealers without orders. and they sold through in one day in Texas. And
Okay.
Texas is tough. Texas is like, you better have a hell of a guitar. You aren't going to sell it in Texas, boy.
Yeah.
All right.
So you're saying these were guitars that slipped through the net, and people didn't know what was new about them, but they still got the magic.
No, the Texas rep found out there were 2 McCartys available, bought them for his dealers. The day they arrived, they were gone.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, I hope that we're going to be seeing thank you. We're going to be seeing these very soon anyway. I mean, from
If you order them, you'll get them.
Let's hope so. I'm sure we will. My observation when I played these guitars was that there was a significant change in the tone, not only from the pickups, but you were also talking about the finish.
Well, and the acoustic tone of the guitar.
Yeah, and I know it's all one big package, and it's very hard to break these things down.
Well, no matter what mic you put on Barbra Streisand, she's not going to sound like Paul Rogers. So it's not all the pickups.
No, that's true.
But
That's true. But you made changes for a reason, right?
Oh God, yes. And listen, every McCarty that I picked up at the show and plugged in, I'm just not having trouble getting that sound.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't do anything but plug it in and go, is there a mic on it? So very often you got to be very careful about the mic placement. You got to be very careful about this, very careful about that.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, get the mic anywhere near Paul Rogers, it's going to sound like Paul Rogers.
That's right. Yeah. So you've made the target a lot bigger, basically. You made it easier to hit
up
that
an
thing.
English singer. Why do I do that? Maybe I should use it like an American singer.
Well, compared to
Stevie
Barbra
Wonder?
Streisand, it's very different. So that's,
Stevie Wonder.
yeah. Well, no two sound alike. So this all works. We're staying on track, fast and loose, right? This is working.
I'm trying to keep throwing you off track, but I'm not doing very well. Go on.
Let's see how we go on from
Right.
here. Okay, so that's the McCarty stuff. All I can say is I've played these guitars, guys. They sound and feel fantastic as always. It's just onwards and upwards then for 2020 with the McCarty line. Is there anything else that you kind of feel that you paid special attention to with the spec change that you really wanted to get across to customers as being a way of this has definitely improved the guitar? If you had to pinpoint one thing.
Well, I worked really hard on the whole McCarty revamp. That would be the single cut McCarty, 594s, 594s and McCartys. I worked really hard on the S2 versions of that.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything that we released that I didn't have my fingers in. So I spent 2 years worth of meetings around changing the finish over. You just don't change a factory over in one day. It doesn't work that way. We worked for a year and a half on it.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 years. And finally it's switched over.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as though you set out to, I guess, make the revision for 2020 that would define all revisions. These things happen naturally over time, and you stumble on these new technologies and things like that.
Some happen naturally, some happen unnaturally. Some changes for the SC line. Jack Hickenbotham pushed really hard. He wanted that, and that's the way it was going to be. And he argued so well.
Yeah.
I said, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, some things that we pushed really hard for. I was pushing for the change in the TCI pickups. It depends. Sometimes it needs leadership, and sometimes it naturally happens. I'd say this is 2/3 leadership and 1/3 natural happening.
So what would you say, what was your stake in, you said you were pushing for the TCI pickups. Was that kind of, did you have that idea that you wanted to make a pickup that would naturally improve the guitar, or did it just come with time that you felt you needed a redesign or a change of technology?
No, I was hell-bent determined to get the pickups to a point where artists thought they sounded magic.
Yeah.
Look, you got a boat full of guitars at a gig, right? And there's an artist going to go on stage. He's going to go for the one that makes him most comfortable, he loves the most.
Yeah.
That's not so easy to do. There's a lot of competition. So that tone that I just played you, it's going to make a lot of artists happy.
Yeah.
I mean, Davey Knowles, who's from the Isle of Man, in your area of the world, had a McCarty or a 594 at this gig he just played. It wasn't his guitar. He just took one off the rack.
Right.
He was happy with it. So that's what I want.
That's the goal.
I want a musician of that caliber to be able to pick up a guitar and drill it and make it happen.
Yeah. Which I'm pretty sure people do. I mean, you know the relationship you have with John at Peach, and we fly through these guitars for very good reason, and I'm sure it's a whole wealth of people that do buy them for different reasons, but to play them, I mean, I'm very fortunate I get to play all the guitars that come into the shop, and they all have their own little characters, they all have their thing, So I'd imagine actually choosing one is going to be pretty difficult, but that's the nature of wood and wire.
In my world, I see products one at a time. Let's work on the nut design for this. Let's work on the pickup design for that. Let's work on the body design of this or that. At this trade show, it's all collected in one spot. And it's like a product review for me in a way, right? I get to look at all of it as a whole, from an umbrella point of view, from your point of view. And so when I go home, I'm going to spend a lot of time this year just working on the details. Sometimes when the economy takes a dump, you're working on survival. Sometimes when things are going really well, you want to make sure that the bonuses are correct for your employees. Sometimes it's always different. But right now, I think I would give the guitars that are coming off the line pretty good marks. I mean, you could pick any one of these and I should be able to get a recording tone out of it that's sitting behind you without me checking it.
I'm sure these haven't been vetted either. You know, they're just guitars that have come off the line.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I wanted to talk about the McCarty,
actually,
first
let's
of all...
do it. You pick one,
all right,
and I'll plug it in.
Well...
Now, by the way, tell them, we didn't set this up.
No.
Okay,
We've never met before this day. No words were exchanged. I mean, this one caught my eye.
All right, so...
I know we're in the same ballpark here. Let's do the switcheroo. I've got that. So this is another 594, straight off the wall.
So this guitar sounds really good. The high end is a little teeny higher in pitch. The low end was a little louder, a teeny bit louder. You can hear it. Still sounds beautiful, but you can hear it sounds a little different. But there's nothing you couldn't get out of this that you'd want at a gig or a recording session. And you picked it, I didn't pick it.
That's true.
And this guitar is half the money of the other one. I mean, that's what I want. I want the guitars to be worth every single penny that someone pays for it in your shop. I mean, how are the guitars doing in your shops?
Well, as I said, I think we certainly fly through them. I mean, they're also...
They don't come flying back, do they?
No.
All right, so people like them when they get them home.
I would imagine so, yeah.
If they don't like
I mean,
them, they'll come back, won't they?
I don't get to speak to the customers, but in my experience of playing your guitars, there's never been a dud, and there's never been anything that's been completely wayward, or taken you aback. You know what to expect from a PRS guitar now, and it's just that the goalposts move every little once in a while, don't they?
Well, that's the idea, but the game of football's changing too, isn't it?
Yeah.
It used to be that you're trying to score goals. Now control is more important, and then you get the goal.
So you've mastered the control, is what you're saying?
No, you don't master anything. That's not the way it works. It goes in baby steps. You get a little better and a little better and a little better and a little better. I mean, that's like saying that,
This isn't for sound bites, by the way.
No, but that's like saying Manchester will control the ball perfectly every single time, and the other team never touches the ball, and they score 100 goals, and the other team scores 0. That's not the way it works. It's still a game.
It's not. I mean, I'm not a football guy, but I don't think that's the way it works. So you're right.
You're not a football guy. I used the wrong analogy with you.
I play guitar too much. Never mind. Thank you for making it
hang on a minute.
rational.
A really good guitar player, a lot of them go on the road, and when they're in Japan, you know what they show on the TV late at night when you can't sleep? English football.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I've got to go to Japan more.
Have you ever been to Japan?
I haven't.
It's extraordinary.
Is that an invitation?
Have you ever been to Scotland?
I have.
Yeah. What about Ireland?
I have. Yeah.
Sweden?
This is going to be a long game, isn't it?
Finland?
No. I'm going to have to start saying no here. So let me just
to get me to shut up.
Let me just change lanes here, Paul, if that's okay, because I'll gladly sit on this comfy room, on this comfy sofa with you all day, but I think we're getting some signs. So the one thing I want to talk about here is the big news of the day, which is the Maple Neck Silver Sky and the very recently announced Nebula Edition as well. So if I pop this guitar back on the wall, let me just grab down the Maple Edition quickly, and we can take a quick look. This is obviously something that has been in everyone's eye line for, well over a year since the model came out.
There you go.
And what prompted the decision to go to Maple? Was that a request
John wanted
specifically
a
from
Maple
John?
Neck version of his guitar. It's not complicated.
And what made you think that that would make a significant change from the Rosewood Edition? Because that was doing so well. What is it for you that's different about this Maple version?
You're not going to like my answer. This one has a maple fretboard.
And so you prefer that?
Yeah.
There's got to be a reason.
It's a good sound. It's a good sounding guitar. Look, maple fretboard guitars feel a little different than rosewood guitars. I like the way this guitar sounds. I'm a guitar maker, so from my point of view, I should be able to make as good a guitar with a maple fretboard as a rosewood fretboard. But this is a good sounding guitar, and it's got a different look. And there's a thickness that I really like. It actually has a lower note than the white guitar we just played.
Do you think there was something that was specific that John was looking for to get out of a Maple Neck guitar?
It to be a slightly different feel and slightly different sound, and I think we accomplished it. These are all subtle differences that musicians notice.
Yeah. Did you change the neck? Because I had a feel of the neck earlier on. It feels a little kind of chunkier and maybe a little rounder. I don't know if that's just the effect that the Maple has.
It's the same program as the original one, but when you don't put finish on it and you round it a little differently, and
it is a nice different feel, like you said, without having the gloss on the neck and stuff like that. So, you know, I don't need to sell these guitars. You don't need to sell these guitars. They're going to sell themselves because they're hugely popular already.
Nice.
They're going to do it for themselves, and the new finishes will look fantastic. Guys, if you want to find out any more info about any of the stuff we talked about, check out peachguitars.com. Do it very quickly because they are going to fly out, as we've previously
stated. You've been a good
stated.
sport. I've given you a pretty hard time, and you've been a good sport.
Thank you very much.
It's been a good sport, hasn't it?
I'm going to have a lie down,
Okay, good.
if that's okay. We've got to leave this room. Oh, yeah. It's going to happen.
See you guys.
Thank you so much, Paul. Thanks, guys, for watching. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon.